Hello and welcome to Rugby Wrap-Up's MLR Weekly. Matt McCarthy in New York City, and we have two great guests. We have Bill Goren, USA Rugby's CEO and Director of Rugby for the Can-Am Rugby Tournament, Cam Moody. Rugby Wrap-Up's MLR Weekly brought to you by Sheehy Auto Stores. It's easy at Sheehy. The Pig and Whistle, New York City, the world's best rugby pub. And Lean and Limber, stretching your way to a healthier lifestyle.
There is a massive responsibility on the 23 that are privileged enough to step out on that field today.
Okay, before we get to anything, I just want to say I'm supposed to be off this week. I'm supposed to be relaxing on a beach, but no, I can't. I come back from the Can-Am Rugby Tournament, which was spectacular, and I'm faced with all kinds of emails and text messages and passings on the street. Hey, what's going on with the MLR? Hey, what about R360? Hey, what about the URC in the USA? Hey, what's up with USA Rugby? And I'm like, I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. But no, I'm not on vacation. I'm back. I thought I was out and you sucked me back in. So here's what we have an idea about, okay? On the MLR front, the league in 2026 will be different than what it was in 2025. Basically, every year in the first 8 seasons, there's been change, and the league has plodded on. Now, if you look at the history of sports, the NFL, MLB, NHL, NBA, there's just a history of radical change in terms of teams dropping out, teams coming in, teams merging, teams taking the place of other teams, teams moving, etc. The same is now true for the MLR. It always has been. What do we know? We know that NOLA is out. Why are they out? That's beyond me right now. I'm stunned by it. I sat on the intel for a while for 2 reasons. A, because I didn't want to believe it, and B, because I wanted the players to be alerted first, because the last thing that I wanted to do was tell a player that they're out of a job. You don't want to hear from McCarthy on social media that you're out of a gig. And, you know, that's just my rule or law, because it's rugby, and I don't expect other people to do that. You know, we are journalists after all, but I'm pretty tight with some of these people, and I don't want to jeopardize that relationship. That's one thing. But they're out. And as recent as the Eagles or USA Rugby event in D.C. with the women playing Fiji and the men playing England, I got to hang out with the NOLA ownership, and it seemed like everything was on the up and up, and there were big things talked about. So I'm as stunned as anybody that this occurred. Also sat on the intel about the California merger between the San Diego Legion and LA. And again, that was for the same reason. But fortunately, they're staying. One of the teams is going to be in the league in California, in Southern California. So that's very important going forward. How they handle the other players. Is it going to be another dispersal draft? Don't know yet at this taping. Is there more change ahead? Perhaps. Perhaps there is more change ahead. At this taping, and Miami was seeking another investor, and we'll see how that goes. And maybe another team was seeking another investor. We'll see how that goes. And again, that's the nature of the beast. Changing gears, the Rugby 360, the R360 thing, based on the cricket model and all that, and the F1. I'm speaking out of my depth, but it sounds great. But I just want to know, I want my hands on that magic wand that's going to wave and produce sold-out stadiums. But in the meantime, if you want to get up to speed, check out the link for the YouTube video here all about that. The URC in the USA. Listen, the URC, which used to be the Guinness Pro 12 and then the Guinness Pro 14, and then it became the URC when they added the South African teams into that mix. The Scottish, the Irish, the Welsh, the Italians, and now the South Africans. And it's called the URC, the United Rugby Championship. It's got good leadership. It's a forward-thinking, progressive-thinking, ambitious team that runs it. I work with them with the Rugby Odds, and I can't say no to any of that. I think it would have to be in conjunction with the MLR, if the MLR is still standing when it happens, if it happens. I think it would be wise from a business standpoint to do that. I don't know that they necessarily have to do that because, you know, that thing that the USA Rugby sanction thing that dangles the carrot in front of players saying, oh, you got to do this or you can't do this if you want to play for Team USA. I don't know that that's that big of a deal for players when salaries are waved under their noses and an opportunity to make much more money is there. But, you know, the rumors about a USA team in the URC, wouldn't that just be the Anthem in the MLR? They would just get absolutely annihilated every weekend by the professional teams from Ireland, from Scotland, from Wales, from Italy, and certainly from South Africa. I mean, it's a rhetorical question of sorts, but think about it. What I'll end with here in this little editorial, this soapbox moment from yours truly that I know that you're riveted by, rugby, professional rugby, only started in 1996 on this planet. In the grand scheme of things, it's still pretty young, and it's a lot younger here. We had the one iteration of Pro Rugby USA with Doug Schoninger, who owned all 5 teams. I think that was back in 2016. That gave some courage to a bunch of people to start up a new league, the MLR, Major League Rugby, 2 years later in 2018. So this is only after 8 seasons. And in sports history, again, I go back to what I started with. It's pockmarked with attrition, movement, addition, etc. So if the MLR is on its feet in 2026, I'll bet my mortgage, if I can get one, that they'll be around in 2027. And with that, let's take a break and come back with Cam Moody of the Can-Am Rugby Tournament calling in from his camo, sand desert camo colored tent somewhere in Africa where he is deployed, not on vacation. We'll be right back.
Digs like a demented mole there.
Need a great price on a new vehicle? Sheehy makes it easy. Easy Price shows you our lowest prices on the Mid-Atlantic's largest selection. Find your best price online or at any of our 31 dealerships.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
How you doing? I'm Jim Hamilton. I'm at the Pig and Whistle. I'm at the famous Pig and Whistle. Look, I've got my rucksack on. I'm a well-known man around the world as one of the best rugby players to have ever played the game. No, I'm not. It's a lie. But we've got Paul O'Connell's montage on the wall. I've heard a lot about this place, and I'm here. Make sure, though, that you come here, but you also tune in to Rugby Wrap-Up.
Sir, what is your first name?
Ryan.
Ryan, what is your last name as per your jersey?
My balls itch.
Is that Czech? Is that a Eastern Bloc name?
It's like my
Poland or
ancestry is like Polish, so I really wanted to honor them.
Yeah. And is it a different way that you say it in the Czech Republic?
Yeah, my balls itch.
And we are back with the director of the Can-Am Rugby Tournament, Mr. Cam Moody, who is also serving in our armed forces, Army National Guard. He's somewhere in Africa. That's all I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, because we're not going to give it away like I tried to on the air during the games. But Cam, welcome back.
Hey, Matt. How are you, buddy?
I'm still banged up, bruised, and battered from actually being dumb enough to put the cleats on Friday. I tried to hide on the wing in 2 games, but they found me. So
Those
I had
bumps and bruises will be gone. Don't worry.
Yeah, the right knee is already starting to loosen up a little bit. I'm able to walk without looking like I'm 105, but it was well worth it. It was well worth it, man. I got to tell you. But you were sorely missed.
It was tough for me to miss it. It's the first time in my rugby career that I haven't been at Can-Ams. And it was, I was here. I was involved from over here, but that's the toughest thing for me to miss for sure was Rugby Christmas and being there with all of you guys.
Well, you were actually there because there was a cutout of you that was not really life size, and your head was way too small. I kept putting my head next to your head, and I have a peanut head to begin with, and I'm like, his head is not that small. They brought it to the Fan Fest, which we'll talk more about. The Fan Fest with a great band. I want to say Skinny Dippers, something.
The Dark Side Skinny Dippers. Yeah, nice local band partying it up down there for us.
They were great. They were absolutely great. And they had the cutout of you on the stage. And at one point during a break in the band's playing, I heard somebody talking to the band and saying, he's not here because he's surfing overseas. And everybody was saying,
unfortunately, I haven't gotten any surfing in over here.
Yeah, no, where's the beach? It was great.
From watching over here, from watching the live stream, man, it looked like everybody was having fun and every game was competitive and fast paced. So looked like all in all a great day for rugby.
Well, that one match between the East Side Hyenas and Elysium and the over
35s.
Over 35s, which went to sudden death, and we went into our second period of sudden death. All the while, the Hyenas playing shorthanded because of a red card, and the player that I named Bowling Ball as the fly half, and I think his name is Temple, and I'm not apologizing because you guys don't give me rosters and you have ridiculous numbers, but it's funny, and I don't think you care anyway. The rugby gods were not with him because he hit one off. It clanked off the crossbar on one kick, and then it clanked off the upright on another kick, and either one of those would have provided the margin of victory for them. And instead, they had to go the hard way and do it in overtime, a scoreless overtime period, then a second overtime period where he nailed the kick. And it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And we had other finishes like that. But I want to get back to the logistics issue for you because a lot of folks don't understand that wire fields being played here or there, blah, 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 blah. And behind the scenes, you have some trouble because you have to anticipate if it rains, certain people won't allow you to play on certain fields, right?
So that's the main reason why we got away from the bowl at North Country Community College, which was the championship field of the past. It's a great venue and a great school, great group of people, but it's their only field. So their concerns of that field getting destroyed and then starting their college sports a week or so after is a valid concern. We get that. We understand. Unfortunately, we just can't plan the event that way where, we could potentially not have that field come Sunday morning. So we've decided to stay at the school at Petrova at the high school fields. And it's been great, honestly, with the bleachers there for you guys up in the tower to be able to live stream from there is a great setup. It keeps our staff all in one area.
I like the way you call it a tower.
Yeah, that's what we've called it all my football career, right? That's the tower. So
is that a tower,
that'll
Cam?
never change.
But
it's so luckily the school's been great for us. They've allowed us to play sunshine, rain, doesn't matter. We've been able to use that field and keep us going strong. And I know change is hard on everybody, especially some of the older guys that remember playing at the bowl.
I remember playing in 1876 back at the bowl, and it was great. Blah, blah.
That's it, right? But so with that change came the birth of the Can-Am Carnival too. That's why we started that down there, and that really has given us an opportunity to grow from just a rugby tournament in town to a community-wide event. I mean,
and you're getting some crap for the free beer at the carnival from some people, and I just want to nip that in the bud because I come down after calling the games, banged up after playing the games. I go to the carnival. There's a free beer there, possibly if you make it in the right time slot, but also the kids can play. I had my dog on a leash, but then I jumped in the lake.
Yep. Yeah, that's the beauty of it, right? It's got something for everybody, and we are truly becoming a family-friendly tournament. I mean, 20, 30 years ago, and were there a bunch of kids running around the fields? No. Now we had almost 45 kids with the youth clinics over the weekend, which is awesome. We're trying to build that youth program. I hope in the next few years that we'll have a youth division. Maybe add a day to the tournament even and have like a U18 tournament going on, something like that. So we're trying to build that atmosphere where your kids are there, Families are there. There's something for everybody. You can swim in the lake. You can listen to live music. The locals can come enjoy. I mean, we've got a great amount of support from our local communities. And now we're building this thing into a community-wide event for everybody. And I think it's just going to make the future brighter for Can-Ams. I mean, if we can get kids hooked when they're, 14, 15, 16, and then they're coming back in their 20s and coming back in their 30s and coming back in their 40s with their kids. I mean,
Coming
that's
back in their 50s and their 60s with their grandkids.
Absolutely. So that's the goal, is to try and find a way to just breathe life into Can-Ams for another 50 plus years and keep this thing going and get bigger and better every year.
But it was fabulous. I'm sorry you couldn't be there, but you did pull it off from a long distance. So kudos to you, sir.
Thank you. I just, one last thing I want to throw out there is just a big thank you to all the ruggers. We changed some things this year. We had a new registration system. We actually had like a team check-in system for the weekend. A lot of changes, a lot of moving pieces, and the teams just rolled with it, and it made my team's job back home so much easier.
That's great.
And me not being there, our staff, our board did a great job making everything go. But it definitely made it easier for the teams to check in, ask questions that they have. We had some new teams, they didn't know where the fields were, stuff like that. So we got ahead of the game with some things, and we're looking forward to next year with Match Facts. Again, registration's already open, so there's no point in waiting. Get on and register your team for the 2026 tournament now. And we're going to start pushing out hotel information with our sponsors, all that stuff. But the teams cooperating just makes everything run so much smoother during the weekend.
And I got to tell you,
except for the Hyenas in their roster, those guys.
But that's part of the charm. It's part of the charm, and you get to make up their names in the booth and make up stories about them. And people can watch these games. The live matches that were the championships are on the Good Guy Productions website right now. We might be able to sneak them on other spots on the internet, but you can go to goodguysproductions.com, right?
Yeah, so it's on their YouTube channel. We were actually just talking. They're doing some final editing and stuff like that, and then we'll get it up on our website. Hopefully, we can sneak it on the Rugby Wrap-Up channel and get that out there for everybody to watch. Your commentating was subpar, but the rugby was fantastic.
I'll take subpar. That's raising the bar for me. The particular match that we had fun with was the Old Girls versus Old Love match, because the Old Love team is comprised of basically a lot of New York Rugby Club players that Greg Gilliam and I know, and Greg happens to be married to their captain and scrum half.
There you go.
So we were just killing them. We went the other way. We didn't want to be biased toward them, so we were biased against them, which is not what you normally do. Yeah, but it was.
I luckily got to watch a lot of it from over here. The internet ended up cutting out later in the day, but I watched that game. I watched, watching the inaugural over 35 women's game was pretty cool for us.
Yeah.
That's something we've been working towards for a few years, and to have it happen was great. And to see that competition, I mean, that was a heck of a game. Those girls battled all weekend long, and of course that over 35 men's championship was a wild ride and
crazy.
So just action-packed weekend all around, and we're just glad we can keep this thing going and looking forward to next year already.
Well, I know that our staff in the booth, Brian Diesel Sheehy and Greg Chick Magnet Gilliam, were thrilled with the accommodations at the Cambria as we were, and they took advantage of that ice plunge with the pitch doctors, which that was a big hit between games. Woo!
That was definitely a hit over the weekend. Another new addition for us, trying some new things and trying to just continually increase the product that we're giving to everybody. So we hope the players all enjoyed it, and they're looking forward to next year as much as we are.
And I want to give a shout out to our man George Hook Jr. for Irish Rugby Tours, because I got a free pen from him, which was
there. You go, hey.
Free stuff,
all the way from Ireland.
Free stuff.
It was great having them back. We're hoping they make it back next year. Of course, we got a long list of great sponsors, and it helps make the event, having some of those guys there on ground. Leinster Rugby, Syracuse University helping us run the youth clinics this year. That was awesome. It's good level teaching for the kids that come out. So we're hoping to just keep building and keep improving, and at the same time kind of build the sport.
Perfect. Well, on that note, we have to take a break, and we'll be back with more of the show. But thank you to Mr. Cam Moody. Thank you for your service in our armed services and your service with the Can-Am Rugby tournament.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
All right, we'll be right back after this.
I wouldn't like to be at the bottom of that.
You need your cleats? You need them tomorrow? If you order today by 3 p.m. New York time or noon LA time, they can have them to you tomorrow. Young, old, male, female, if you're playing on turf, if you're playing on grass, if you're playing in the rain, you're playing in the heat, they've got you covered. RugbyNow.com. Go there now. And we're back, and we have a special treat. We have USA Rugby CEO Bill Goren, formerly of the MLR. Bill, welcome back to MLR Weekly.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Bill, it's been a rough week on the American rugby landscape with the stuff that's going on with MLR, with the MLR in particular. So, oddly enough, I thought we'd turn to USA Rugby for some good news. How about that?
Here we are. There we go.
Imagine that. I think this is a first in the history of USA Rugby, but we'll do it. And I'm specifically talking about the event in D.C., and it was an event. You had a doubleheader with the women playing against Fiji and the men playing against England, but there were other things going on Thursday and Friday night. And I was on vacation last week, so I apologize that we didn't do this sooner. But walk me through your perspective as CEO.
Yeah, look, it was like kind of a game-changing weekend for us in D.C. We wanted to set a tone. We couldn't be happier with everything that happened. We, on top of an amazing gala where we raised a significant amount of money and a lot of support for USA Rugby over the next 6 years. There was a Hall of Fame dinner. We had 2 matches. We had a number of meetings, including board meetings and council meetings, where we made some pretty significant decisions on how to move forward. We met with World Rugby on our World Cups coming up, and we had a breakfast to celebrate our women, and it was all around a great weekend for everyone. I've only heard great things, and it's set a path for us for the future. So, really happy.
Yeah, and again, I was there. It was a great buzz. It was a great crowd. The contingent from England that came over was fantastic, and you got a good schedule coming up. I know we got Friday Night Lights. This show will come out on Thursday, so it'll have a little bit of turnaround, but. Friday Night Lights and going forward, what are some of the other events?
Well, I mean, what we're really, like on the 15 side, we're really working towards is that qualification match on August 22nd. Like, I think we were all part of it the last time we had the opportunity to qualify for World Cup and weren't able to. So we understand how important it is to have a great showing against Canada and really put ourselves in the driver's seat around the World Cups and qualification. And
is
then
it true that is it true that you will be putting a laxative in the tea of the Canadian players prior to the match? Is there any truth to that rumor?
I can't say anything. Sorry.
You can't confirm or deny.
Cannot confirm or deny. No, right. We're just really excited about it. We know Canada's going to come and try to make an impact as well. So everything is focused on being prepared for that. Our match.
Can't we just put a tariff on them?
Donald won't take the call.
We'll just make it up.
Plus, it's in Canada, so it doesn't work that way.
All right. Okay. So that's good stuff. It's ABC. Always beat Canada.
Yes.
That's the ABCs. Always beat Canada. Yeah. And if we beat them, we're in.
That's what I'm told. Yeah,
All
I'm sure there's some kind of something, but yes, the qualification match against Canada is the key towards moving forward.
All right, and truth be told, I wasn't going to do a show this week, so our schedule is all off, and you accommodated us kindly. But we'll do a longer interview where I really start to take your legs out from under you and take you down brick by brick. But this is not this one. But before I let you go, I got to ask you one nagging question so they don't completely destroy me on Reddit. We have a dues increase.
Yes.
Why and what for?
Well, the cost of everything, insurance, our safe sport, everything is increasing, right? And we've tried to buffer a lot of that from there, but we do have raising expenses around our membership services. And second is look, I've spent about a year and a half here. I've gone throughout the community. I've been at a number of events. I've met with a number of people. I listened to our councils and our community leaders, and we have a few holes that we really think we can start to fill, meaning referees and coaches development, continued education for our coaches, more attention. We have a great program where we look at our top 100 referees and we put them on a path towards representing us on an international level or at a World Cup. But we have hundreds of referees that are not of that top 100 that are driving the community game every day and every week. Those individuals leave it like a 50% clip. We need to show their appreciation, give them the proper tools and service and support. And that's what I really do. So we're going to bring someone in who's focusing on the coaches and referees on the community level. And the second is we have great stories within our community that we don't tell. We're thinly staffed. We at times get focused on high performance, and we don't do a great job of telling our story throughout the full community. And so we're going to bring in a marketing person that is their job is to work throughout the community, tell the stories, get us a calendar, make sure that we're promoting events that are coming up, and just sharing everything great that's going on isn't always being shared. So we're looking at those two. So basically there's three things, the referee, the coaching, and the marketing to drive things forward. And that's where the dues increase came into play.
Right. Okay. I'm going to just nod and say yes. And I will take my lumps in social media as a result. But again, thank you for taking the time out. But before I let you go, we were talking about the men's team beating Canada and getting into the World Cup. I don't think our women face that same peril, right? But they are playing Canada Friday night.
Playing Canada Friday night. Not that same peril. Our next big rock is August 22nd is when the World Cup starts in England.
Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to you taking me over there as your consultant, and I will not charge too much for that, but I will fly first class, of course,
for sure.
And have
Just
a
keep
suite.
checking your email.
Yeah, I'm going to keep checking those emails. It hasn't come through yet for some reason, but
takes time.
Takes time. And on this, and we're out of time, Bill, and I appreciate you coming on and taking the time for us. Bill Goren, CEO of USA Rugby, thank you.
Perfect. Thank you.
And thank you, sir. And also thanks to Cam Moody, the director of the Can-Am Rugby tournament, who is also protecting us as he is deployed somewhere in Africa. We can't talk about that. And thank you for tuning in. Please check out our other shows. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Tell your friends about us. And please sign up for our American Red Cross blood donor team.